Welcome to another Cardano update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And speaking of the Discord server, someone on the Discord server actually suggested something, and maybe this right here is actually a 1-2 setup, because this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, move to the upside. And maybe you are right. I mean, this is the thing about Elliott wave counts. It can, be extremely subjective. And I mean, if you look at other videos of other people talking about the Elliott wave count, they probably have a different wave count, because it's just so different and people have different opinions about the chart. And maybe we are actually in a 1-2 setup here. Maybe this was not the 1-2 setup, and maybe this is not the target for the third wave. I'm just gonna keep it on the chart. However, I'm also gonna, think about the possibility that maybe the first wave is in here, and right now we're going a second wave move down. It would make sense considering the fact that the RSI dropped quite a lot, and maybe we'll actually get to the oversold territory first. Now, I'm not gonna give you a support zone for this because honestly, it does not really matter that much. It's still a very small 1-2 setup, so it does not really matter. And well, whatever Cardano does next, it's not really important until we get to the bull market support band anyways. So if we actually get back above the bull market support band, then I'm gonna, revisit the wave count, but until then, it's not gonna be that important anyways. Now, I want to take a look at a comment that I read yesterday. Don't worry, it's not a troll comment, it's actually a good one. And yeah, don't worry, I'm not gonna talk about troll comments anymore. I'm gonna talk about the good ones right now. And the comment is this right here: we can get to the oversold territory without making another low in price. I think this is actually talking about Ethereum, and it's talking about the weekly chart. So let's continue reading this, and it says, I think you should be bullish here. Lower low means Ethereum loses support, which is unlikely here. Let's see how it goes. And well, what this guy is saying is that we could actually continue going down, maybe get, some kind of double bottom on the Ethereum chart and, get below the 0.786 support level again. And if we do that, that would actually put Ethereum in the oversold territory, and that's actually correct. However, you have to keep in mind, I mean, if we actually do that, and if we just go sideways or we continue just trending down for the next couple of weeks, it means that it's going to take another couple of weeks, and I don't think many people want to see that. So I mean, we could drop right now, and that will most likely put us in the oversold territory. But please do not forget, getting to the oversold territory does not mean that we cannot go lower. So even if we dropped like $1,400 right now and we get to the oversold territory, that's not going to confirm that the low is in. The low will only be in once we actually close, a wick in the oversold territory. And here, for example, like about 3 years ago, we actually stayed in the oversold territory for a couple of weeks. Now in 2018, we only closed, I think, like 2 or 3 weeks in the oversold territory. So maybe this time we will only need 1 week in the oversold territory and then we could bounce. I don't know. But yeah, that comment is correct. And of course, if we were to get another low, that would put Ethereum below the 0.786 support level. But please do not forget, to invalidate the whole structure, we would still have to go down below like $873. I don't think that's gonna happen. So we could drop below the 0.786 support level, and it would still be fine as long as we stay above this low right here. And I think getting below this low is pretty much impossible. Of course, that's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm expecting Ethereum to bounce in the next couple of weeks. We just need to find a low, and until we do, and until we close a wick in the oversold territory on the weekly, we could be looking at a very boring couple of weeks. Maybe it's gonna happen this week. I hope it does, because right now it's Wednesday, and we could get a drop by Sunday, and hopefully that will be the last drop, because I'm getting bored of this. I mean, I have to pretty much make the exact same video every single day. So going back to the Cardano chart, what Cardano needs to do is get above the moving average on the weekly chart. I think you already know this at this point. And we still are waiting for the third wave of the third wave. The target for the main third wave is the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup here. That's at $2.98. However, if Cardano does what it did in the previous cycle and gets above the 1.618 resistance, well, actually the Fibonacci extension of the previous all-time high, that could actually get us to above $5 in the third wave. Is that going to happen? I don't know. I mean, if you look at Bitcoin dominance, it's currently at 64% and it's at the trend line, meaning that it could get to like 66%. So if it gets to like 66% and then we drop after that, it could actually be very bullish for Cardano, and people seem to forget this, but in the last cycle when the altcoin season started, we were at about 74% Bitcoin dominance, and if you can remember, during this time Cardano went up like 100x. So of course in this cycle it's not going to go up another 100x. Obviously we have diminishing returns. However, when Bitcoin dominance drops, and I think it's going to drop no matter what, so when it does, if we go higher right now, the drop is going to feel even better because we will drop even more, meaning that Ethereum and the altcoins will go even higher. And like I said, remember the previous cycle, Bitcoin dominance was at 74% in December of 2020. Nobody was talking about crypto back then, and do you know when people started talking about crypto? That's right, they started talking about it when, Bitcoin dominance was doing this, not when it was going up right here. When it was going up, nobody cared because the altcoins were not doing anything and they were just bleeding against Bitcoin like they are doing in this cycle. And please do not forget, things cannot go up forever. At some point they will have to go down, so it's only a matter of time until this does. Maybe it gets like 66%, maybe 75%, maybe 80%. It doesn't matter how high it goes, at some point it will drop, and when it does, it's gonna feel extremely good for the people who actually, bought altcoins and Ethereum and some other stuff when Bitcoin dominance was at 60%. So if you are interested in knowing when it's the best time to buy altcoins or Ethereum, it's literally right now or in a couple of days. If Bitcoin dominance actually gets to like 66%, I would not try to, time the market, because trying to time the market is pretty difficult, but if you want to do it, you can do it. Maybe you can wait a couple of, days for Bitcoin dominance to go higher. You have to keep in mind we are at the trend line right here and we could get rejected very, very soon. We are also overbought on the weekly chart, so please be careful. If Bitcoin dominance drops right now, Ethereum could actually find a low. I don't know if it's gonna drop because, like I said, Ethereum still needs to go lower, but we'll see. Now, I also need to talk about Bitcoin. Bitcoin is still above the RSI right here, above the trend line on the weekly RSI, which is good. We are most likely closing a week above it again, and I think we're about to retest this, and it would be a good time to retest it because, as you know from the past at least, Bitcoin likes to do that. For example, here, we, got to it, then we got to the moving average. Right now we did not do that, and then we retested it, and then that was the low right there, and then we went up, and right now we tested it, then we tested it again, we got below it for a week or so, and then we got back above it, and right now I think we're about to retest it again. And if we retest it and we stay above it, I think we're gonna get to about $140,000 by the end of May, or by the end of the first week of, well, actually the first 2 weeks of June. So that remains my prediction. It's not gonna change anytime soon, and I'm not gonna change it, well, ever. So yeah, there's that. Now, if you want to know what's happening with Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is also a big player, if you want to know what's happening here, I mean, it's currently getting rejected by the bull market support band, so please do not forget this. The last time it got rejected by the bull market support band was right here, and look at what happened after that. We dropped from $88,000 all the way down to about $75,000 or so, or actually $74,000. So we could actually test the support level again to actually get, to the trend line on the weekly chart and retest it. And if we do, during that time, Ethereum will most likely find a bottom, and it will close a weekly wick in the oversold territory, and then we could actually start going up. So for the people saying that, crypto is dead right now, well, it is, because Bitcoin dominance is at 64%, but it's not going to be dead forever, at least, well, in your eyes, because to me it's not dead. To me, right now it's the best time to buy. I mean, I literally have a buying order for Ethereum at about $1,420 or so, so I'm just waiting for that to trigger, and once it does, I'm not gonna care. Now, if, we don't get there, and if my buying order does not, trigger, then I will most likely buy Ethereum on the way up, maybe at like 1,700, maybe 1,800. You have to keep in mind, I don't really care. I mean, we are in the support zone, so wherever I buy, it's gonna be, a good investment in the next couple of months anyways, so I don't really care if I, time the market, but I am trying to time it right now, and we'll see if it works or not. And Cardano, I'm not buying any Cardano right now because I don't don't see any reason to. I already have enough, and I'm still waiting for it to get to all-time highs, and well, that's it. I don't have anything else, to be honest. I mean, we still are waiting for a cross on the bull market support band, and until that happens, I mean, anything could happen. And if Ethereum gets another low, then Cardano could get some kind of triple bottom, and that could put us at 50 cents again. And well, from where we're at right now, it's not really a big, thing to worry about, especially when I look at the 1-2 setup here. If this is actually a 1-2 setup, like the person on Discord said, then, we could even get to like about 54 cents, maybe 52 cents, and it would still not be invalidated. So we'll see if this is actually correct or not. Now I'm gonna change it back to what I had, at the beginning of the video, because I don't know if this is actually correct. Like I said, the wave count is extremely subjective, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. I'm still very bullish, but I am short-term bearish, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, I said that like 5 times already, so I will see you in the next one. Like, subscribe, check out the memberships, and goodbye.